they face the greatest challenges, how they handle defeat. When we were asked to give this introductory speech, I didn't know exactly what I would be facing. There are a couple of ways I could have tackled it. One would be to just give some background information. The more complicated way would be to answer the question, who am I? And try to present that. I'm going for the little bit more difficult. So, who am I? I'm going to try to present this through just day-to-day activities, things like that. What has been my life? And maybe you'll take some grains of truth from that and know me a little bit better. So, I'm Vincent Leibbrandt. I'm a third-year management major here at Tech. I was born in Germany. Same year the Berlin Wall fell. So that's a little bit of a tidbit of information there, something that always, I don't know, tells me a little bit about my past and where I come from, the perspective. And I came here about 10 years ago. Now, in Germany, while I was in elementary school, one of the problems I encountered almost immediately is that I was not very good at writing. As it turned out, I was dyslexic. I had to face a couple of challenges there. And then, when I came to the United States, 10 years ago, I didn't speak a word of English. My dad is South African, and my mom is German. My dad's native language is English. My mom is a translator, and she speaks English fluently. So it was surprising that when I came here, I didn't speak any English, but of course I had my parents to help me. I was very fortunate to land at a school where you would take a day in a foreign language and a day in English. Of course, for me, English was the foreign language, and the German was the native language for me. In high school, then, I had overcome a lot of these challenges, and even though I was dyslexic, I found a passion for writing. Maybe it's because I was dyslexic, just something I wanted to overcome. I did something called National Novel Writing Month, something that impacted me a lot, where the challenge is to write 17,000 words every day for the month of November until you finally end up with a novel. And that is something I did for several years. I discontinued it in college because Georgia Tech does not leave a lot of time for these kinds of hobbies, unfortunately, especially right before finals. But that is one of the things that actually made me choose the profession that, the career that I'm going for, which is I want to become a lawyer. I discovered many passions in high school. That was what high school was mainly about for me, was discovering what I was passionate about. And there were so many things. I eventually had to boil it down to law, but to give you a little bit more of an idea of what I was choosing from, I was very passionate about history, especially Russian history for some reason. I used to be able to name all the Russian premiers in order, first and last name, for the last 100 years. That was something I was very interested in. But also astronomy. I took physics classes, and that fascinated me. It was actually one of the reasons why I went to Tech, just in case I ever wanted to go back to that. I was also very passionate about psychology. I had a couple of free electives here at Tech, which I immediately chose to do in psychology because I don't get much exposure to it otherwise. And another thing I was pretty passionate about was business, which is, my love for that has only grown over the last couple of years as a management major, finances and things like that. But ultimately, it was law that interested me the most. Not just from the skills that I wanted to be good at, like public speaking, also from the writing that I'd overcome and wanted to be good at. And not just from these things, but my motivations behind it, just that law was something I'd always admired. The justice system and things like that. So that was one of the driving forces behind why I chose that. And like I said, the overcoming my writing adversity, that I wanted to become better at something I was told I was not good in. So that is essentially who I am. These are my passions. These are the things I'm interested in. And I'm hoping that that tells you just a little bit about who I am and